Alrighty, welcome everybody. Alrighty, 13 seconds in, we're going. Stream is good today. My internet came back a little bit stronger, so I decided to go ahead and roll with the show. And we'll get chatting here in a little while. But for now, we'll just kind of chill out, get a few sips going on, and then we'll get to the topics soon. Dangerous. Again, if you guys check in, be sure and throw me a message, because I can't tell who's here and who's not until you shoot me a message. I'm going to peek over here on Facebook, see if I missed any messages real quick. Other than the one that everybody's commenting on. Oh, goodness. All right, I should be back. Where's my link? I'm back. All right, I'm back here. So we got a little Mad Dog 2020 today. You guys might remember this from your college days if you're about my age. Haven't thought about that in years. So I'm got the little raspberry, what is it? Blue raspberry flavor going right now. Quite tasty. Got a little bottle wine today. A little cheap, a little yellowtail, but it does the trick. A lot of things being as crazy as they are with the weather, I'm sure we're going to have fewer people tonight. Maybe more, I guess, if everybody's bored and their internet's actually running. I think power is all back up mostly across the board. I'm sure there's some spot areas still out, but looks like the rolling blackouts didn't last that long and everything's back up and running. And we're rocking and rolling here. Internet, like I said, my internet speeds were crap all day. I'm sure there was some issues. I think a lot of Sparklight has Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, and so probably had some issues with some of their main areas. But boom, all of a sudden, about 3 o'clock, all my speeds came back up. So I decided to go ahead and go on with the show. And here we are. Had a little snow earlier. I don't know if we have any more coming. I'm not sure about the rest of the state. But we had a little brief dusting a couple hours ago. Gave us another ½ inch, but that was about it. So I don't know if we're expecting more, but I mean, honestly, at this point, snow doesn't really matter all that much. It's just the temps. So I think me, like the rest of you, we're all fighting water issues and things of that nature, water and frozen pipes and keeping your houses warm. So it's been a struggle for sure. Oklahoma houses are not built for this kind of thing for the most part. So Kevin Wagner, what's happening, Kevin? Definitely Kevin's the first one to check in today. What's going on? Did you and Daryl get out today and do your Daryl's ride for Daryl's birthday? I think it was today, right? Is that right, Kevin? Before I get into this, I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what the plan is for tonight. So, we want to have a couple of shout outs. One to just personal friends. One to it's a couple friends, just personal friends, personal shout out, and then just something that Dakota says Jason Ingopee did a little something here earlier today that I thought was pretty cool. And then some crazy friends of mine doing some crazy running in unbelievable conditions. Then I'm going to move on to a new trail system that's proposed and accepted and being built by fellow cyclists just across the state line in Texas in the Amarillo area to give Amarillo another trail system outside of the state parks. And then I'm going to move on to some upcoming events. And that's really pretty much the extent of the lineup this evening. And we're just going to roll with it. And again, if you guys have questions, comments, things you want to throw out and share, be sure and do so. I know we've all been experiencing some crazy things. Knock on wood, we've been pretty lucky here in Hobart. We've had a little water. We had some water issues, and I'm having a little hot water issue here in my place, but not significant, nothing that we can't handle. In our town, we've had some low water pressures due to some water main breaks, but again, not catastrophic at this point. We've had very minimal power outages. I'm not sure any of the rolling outages ever hit here. I think we got some surrounding counties and some surrounding communities in our county, but I think we were not on that grid, or at least I didn't lose anything, and I don't know if anybody in my vicinity did. I know the school didn't, hospital didn't. So we've been cruising right along. Amy and I have been able to get out almost every day. She's ran outside the last couple of days. Today did a little run on the tracks. We've got out and done a lot of back road and cruising. Did pretty good. We only got in a little bit of trouble the day before yesterday with the first big snow. We were out dirt road and then took a risk on a big drift, and just it was just a little bit too deep. We actually got through the drift the first time, and but got the engine a little wet. Took us a while to get it dry before it started, but then we couldn't get back out. So my son came and helped us, and we were able to push out of about a 4-foot drift probably. So anyway, probably that was my fault, but anyway, it was fun, and got to see a lot of sights and see some new stuff, and just been having a good time. Trying to enjoy as best we can. Derek, Oklahoma OTB, what's happening? Alrighty, let's get on into it. Again, you guys have questions, comments, things of that nature, be sure and let me know, and I'll get them out there. And be sure and share this if you're, share this my link to my YouTube channel out on Facebook. Get people, the more people we get signed up and subscribed, the more people know about it, and the more people that can join it. Pretty tasty wine, not bad. A little bit better than the box, but it's even cheap, but it's still pretty good. Alrighty, I want to get right into it. I'm going to give my first shout out, and my first shout out is to my good friends Steve and Angela Cordes, and Brandon's at home as well too, and found out through just a couple of messages that sounds like Angela has been sick. Looks like the Rona got her. As we all know, she's works at a school. She's a school principal, so she's been around this quite a bit, done her best to protect herself, but unfortunately came around some infected folks, and she tested positive, and she's pretty sick. So she's getting better, but she's in the midst of it, and looks like she's living upstairs in the in what I usually consider my guest bedroom whenever I come to Lawton Medicine Park, and they're doing handoffs in the middle of the hall so that they can try to keep Brandon and Steve from getting sick. So anyway, shout out to the Cordeses and Angela. Hope you get better. Trust me, I know how bad it sucks. Amy and I have been down and out with this, and don't wish this on anyone. But anyway, just good vibes going your way. Hope you get feeling better. Steve, glad you're there to take care of her, and miss you guys. And we'll all link back up soon, and when we're all well and healed up and everything's better. So I want to give a second shout out to good buddy Jason Engelke. And this is something that I think we might want to try to do again. It's a great idea. And he created a Zwift event, and he can only invite the people that are part of that he's friends with, or that he's I don't know how you do that on, I don't know what is it on Zwift. I guess it's the people that you follow on Zwift. That's how it's worked. It's the people that you follow. So he invited 40, 50 people that he could. So we need to try to figure that out a little bit better. And I'll work a little bit on that with him. and we are going to see if we can just create an ongoing Zwift ride in the 5:30-ish time range. I think today they did 5:45. Just to kind of see if we can do that. Do a little ride prior to the weekly Wizard update, and we'll kind of get that fleshed out. But if you guys have ideas or comments on how to make that happen, let us know. So just really starting to dabble, messing with that. I saw the event today. I was able to say I was going to the event, even though I didn't go because I'd already ridden just right before that. But I couldn't figure out how to get the share link and post it up to someplace that you guys could get. So I don't know. We can probably figure that out. Just have to play around with it. It's not something I've done too much. So, oh, it's this Saturday at Claremore. Okay, Kevin. Alrighty. I knew it was coming up, so I guess I probably should. I don't know. I guess it's not secret. So I hope it wasn't secret. Because I may have just given up the ghost on that ride, Kevin. So hopefully I didn't say anything inappropriate at this point in time. But anyway, so thumbs up to Jason for organizing that and coming up with the idea. And I think that we will try to continue this. It's a neat idea. Get a little Zwift ride going before the show and lead right into the show. And sounds like a good plan for me. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Right there. MD 2020. Alrighty, third shout out. It's an event, so not technically a shout out, but I guess I want to call it a shout out because I don't know a whole lot about it. Several of you guys and gals probably participated, so if you did, then just let me know, and you guys can chime in and comment. But my friends, several of my friends participated. I don't know if Lauren Mays was involved in organizing, but I know it was up in her neck of the woods, Robbers Cave. She's the park manager up there. And they had a running event called the Outlaw 100. They had the race, multiple distances, but I think the premium race was the ultra marathon, which I believe was 135 miles. And if my quick research did it justice, which I'm sure it probably didn't, it looked like 2 or 3 or 4 people might have finished the full distance, whereas most everybody else shortened their mileage and went for shorter distances. But looking like 40 hours was the finishing for approximately 135-mile ultra marathon that took place just just 2 or 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Today's Tuesday, so it was Sunday, I think, Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember the day. We all know what the temps and the weather was like, so mega props for all those folks. Several of our local Oklahoma folks went down there and that are part of our mountain bike crew. I recognize several of the names, and it was pretty impressive. So thumbs up to you guys. And if some of you get on here later and you want to comment on that, just be sure and do so. So Carolyn Fairless, what's happening? So yeah, so anyway, so we'll roll on. But anyway, mega props to all of our runners out there. Outlaw 100, Robbers Cave, my friend Lauren Mays, park manager out there. Again, I don't know if she had anything to do with the event. Probably not. I think probably just her park, but she's the manager out there. I think Brian Steiner, saw him out there. I don't know, did Jennifer and Jeremy Black go out there? I can't remember. Anyway, I saw several people that I recognized from our cycling scene that were out there. But whew, mega props. Looked crazy conditions, crazy weather, but looked like everybody had a good time. So boom, Jason Engelke, what's happening? Finally signed into chat. Welcome. Said we had Smitty, Gravel Doc, Christian, Chris Lentz, Herrera says download the Discord app to join the group chat. We can do group rides and races. Okay, excellent. I don't have the Discord app, so I've heard that that's the thing to do. So we'll start playing with that, Jason, and we'll work back and forth and work out some instructions and some links on exactly where to go to get that and how to do that. And we can for sure link up. I guess the key is figuring out how to get like an active link to the event that we can post. And that's the one thing that I couldn't figure out. I wanted to get a link so that we could post it on the event page, as well as creating, or at least maybe if you can take the link and create an event page for it, then we can then we can link to that event page on Tour de Dirt and all the different things, and that would work pretty well too. Just something. So the key is right now the only way that you can really advertise this is us telling people and have them look for you, because you can't actually find the event unless they're a friend of yours, I don't think, or they follow you. I think that's how that works, and you can't invite them unless they follow you. So ideally, if we could find a way to make a link to it so that they could just click on it, that would be great. And then I'll test the Discord app as well too, and Jason will holler at you, and we'll just kind of mess around with it and see. We've got plenty of time, so sounds great. And again, I thank you. It was a great idea. So I think it's super cool, and just another way for all of us to link together. Schmitty, what's happening, brother? Good to see you on here. I haven't talked to you in forever. Alrighty, before we get to upcoming events, again, if you guys and gals have anything that you want to talk about, chat about, throw up my way, things going on in your world, crazy things you've done over the snow apocalypse, let me know. Love to hear your story. Love to share your story. I've done too many crazy things here, except Amy and I just taking her car and going super crazy back roads. We did pretty good, like I said, except like 1 4-foot drift got us. Oh, we did good. Just one drift got us, but it wasn't catastrophic. We did have help on the way, thanks to one of my sons. So, but it was fun.
It was fun.
We saw crazy birds everywhere. Apparently, as nuts as this weather is, the deer love this shit because they were in every field and running across the road. I bet we saw 100 just in one back road day when we were cruising. We went all the way to Frederick Lake, cruised dirt roads all the way back to Hobart for like 2 hours. And I don't know how many deer we saw, probably 100. And it was amazing and fun and cool at the same time. So Herb Brown, that's MD 2020. You got it. I've got the Mad Dog rolling. So I saw this in a grocery store and it brought back old college memories, most of which were probably not good and most of which I probably can't remember because of the Mad Dog 2020. But anyway, brought back memories, so I thought I'd have a little bit. Obviously, I've already been nipping at it since it's a little bit low right now. So, alrighty, I want to move on to one more topic. This is not an Oklahoma topic, but it's close enough, and I don't contain this show to just Oklahoma stuff, because the reality of it is we all race and all over the place, mostly Kansas, Texas, Arkansas, here. I mean, those are the main places. We do venture out elsewhere, but those are that's the main region we all race. But Texas is right next door. A lot of us do racing there. A lot of those Texas guys come race here. So there's a lot of, we have a lot of friends both ways. And there's a cool new park trail system and all going in Amarillo, Texas. So I'm going to put the glasses on because I wrote some notes here. So I'm not familiar with all the details, but I do have them all written down. So many of you have heard of the Six Pack Outdoors race series. It's been going on for 3 or 4 years now. It's a smaller Texas race series that kind of offsets their Timbra and Dorba races into a separate series, and it's all based in the Amarillo area. So Texas is different than Oklahoma, I guess, really, in just because of the size and how wide their state is. So in order to do certain series events in Texas, it's really hard, even for the locals in Texas, because of the distance between the races. It's almost easier for a lot of them to do Oklahoma races than it is to do other Texas races because they're so far away. So this group feels that pain, and they created a race series several years ago, and they do a variety of courses all in the ballpark of the Amarillo area, Amarillo Canyon type area. And they've been working, I guess, for quite some time to do some development in this specific area. This area is south. It's on the southeast side of Amarillo, and it's called this Klein Sports Complex. So they have not only been working on this, developing trail ideas, developing maps, and all of those things. And they approached the city of Amarillo with that, and the Amarillo City Parks Board approved their plan. So it's been approved. They've been raising money. They've been getting support from the city, and apparently it's a go. And they're going to start work on this. In fact, I think they've probably already started work on it. I don't know the level of it, but I'm going to try to reach out to the people that are doing this and just get some more one-on-one specific inside information, and maybe at some point when the weather gets nicer, maybe we have a weekend off, we can get up there and go check it out when things are ready. But anyway, it's a cool, I know a lot of us like to go up to Palo Duro. It's a pretty big, that's a pretty big deal for many of the Oklahoma, mainly Oklahoma City in this way, but I know a lot of Tulsa folks come too. But that's a big venue for a lot of people in Oklahoma to go out, do a weekend stay, some of the races that they do. But this is going to be another cool venue to go. Not only are they planning on 15 miles of single track, looks like there's not a lot of elevation, they said, but there's a lot of trees and a lot of terrain to work with. So it'll be a fun trail, probably more of a flowy, fast, technique type trail, more so than a difficult climbing, hard, difficult trail. But 15 miles seems pretty cool. In addition to that, they're looking at a pump track as well as a skills park. So thumbs up. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty big deal, and definitely a place to add to your destination as you're heading that direction. So I'll, like I said, I'll reach out to the guys that are working on this and get more inside information and pass that along to everybody as things happen. So yeah, Palo Duro for sure, Derek. That's but this is not going to be Palo Duro, so that's the thing. It's going to be very close to Palo Duro, but it's not going to be inside any kind of park system. So you're going to be basically just an open trail. It's just going to be like a city park, unlike some of the issues that we run into trying to get in and out of Palo Duro, and the cost and some of the law that we have to worry about when we go there as well too. So I'm thinking that will not be the case with this place. So anyway, another cool place in Texas, Amarillo Canyon area to ride. More information coming as I get it. So alrighty. It's going to be a short one unless you guys come up with something you really need to talk about. I do have upcoming events that I want to talk about. They'll probably take another 10, 15. And that's really probably about all I got. So let's see. Upcoming events. What do we have? I want to go ahead and knock out one that's really not as current as these, just because I want to go ahead and start getting a drive for it. And then I want to, when the end of the Tour de Dirt season gets here, I will do more specific information on it. And I'd love to do a sit down with Christopher Trammell, my buddy, Ray for all you guys out there that's doing the G3. So basically we have the G3R2, which is G3, I guess revision 2. And then we have race 1, race 2, and race 3. So we have 3 races. And we're looking at September 22nd or 26th, October 10th, October 24th. So we've got quite a while. It's down the road. It's going to be right at the end of the Tour de Dirt season. We'll fit around some of our final races as we are going into October this year, which we have not done in the past few years, but just really couldn't help it. And honestly, at this point, it's not really too big of a problem to move to October, because I used to avoid October simply because I tried to avoid all the cross conflict, but they pushed a lot of their season back, in addition to the fact that we just don't have a lot of crossover like we used to. A lot of our cyclists used to go do all the cross races, and now not as many do. So there's less crossover, and it was too hard to try to squeeze that all down in September. Ideally, I would still like to get it done before October, but it's just easier to leave gaps. It's easier for scheduling, and it's also easier to have gaps in there in case something goes wrong with the weather or things of that nature. So. So G3. So anyway, that was my mention there. Again, it's not as current as the rest of the things I'm going to discuss, but I do want to go ahead and start getting the idea out there because it's a cool event. I think most of you know what the G3 is. If you don't, you'll find out. It's a cool gravel race, Guthrie based, 3 different courses, all leaving Guthrie and coming back, 3 different areas, 3 different styles of trails. 50 to 60 miles typically. Usually I think it's usually 60-ish is what it ends up being. It's preparation for other events in the past, but now it's a standalone series. It's going to be cool. It's grassroots, great venue. Promoters and the people that do this are very down to earth, and I personally just love it. I love the vibe that this thing throws out. I love being there. And I think that by the time we get to September and October, things are going to be much more settled in our world with concerns for our health and our safety. And just looking forward to really, really getting into some cool events like this at that point in time. Okie dokie, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is one that came up pretty quickly. February 27th, Bear Mountain Enduro. Jason, it's not really a surprise anymore, but I will tell you in just a moment. I'll address Jason Engelke's comment here in just a jiffy. Bear Mountain Enduro came up pretty quickly. I talked to Stephen Cordes about it last week. I've been seeing Chad and everybody's post about it. So as you know, the Medicine Park crew, they really like their rocks. They like jumping. They like their downhills, and they've been working really hard to develop enduro downhill style courses with the terrain that they have. We just don't have a lot of terrain in Oklahoma outside of really, really far eastern Oklahoma to do anything like this. We just don't have the terrain to do it. Medicine Park does have some of that terrain in there. They've really worked on that to create some of that. We tasted a little bit of that this week, or for the Fool's Dozen this past year, because we did.
Super cool.
I guess we did 2 runs. We did an enduro run and a downhill run for the Saturday events that accumulated for the overall, and then we did our regular cross country race on Sunday. But they've added and modified and done crazy amounts of work. They now have 5 runs. They're a mixture of enduro and downhill events. So they're going to, some are going to be, it's kind of hard to determine exactly downhill versus, for me, between enduro and downhill, but there's going to be very specific runs. This is going to be free. So this is really just a test the waters type of an event. It's not going to cost anything. They only ask that you bring a 6-pack for your entry fee of some beer, preferably something a little nicer. You know, I'm sure someone's going to drink Coors Light, you know, like our good buddy Scott. But reality of it is, they'd like, you know, 6-pack of nice beer is not a bad entry fee. So bring that, you're good to go. Call it a good day. Everything's going to be Strava timed. I think they start 10 sharp on the date that I gave, which was the 27th. And from there, that's going to be, you know, you're just going to do your runs. They'll have it all organized. Everything will be good. It'll be pretty laid back, but with the Strava times, you just run your times. I'm pretty sure, I guess, you're able to do as many runs as you want, but 5 runs is a lot. So I suppose that you just have to play your cards and your time and all that. But anyway, should be a cool event. It's new. It's definitely something that we're not used to, especially in this part of Oklahoma. Again, typically we only get things like this in eastern Oklahoma, where we have more terrain to allow us to do downhills. So hopefully it'll be a success, and we'll draw a whole new crowd of mountain bikers that like to do the more extreme type downhill stuff. And looking forward to it. So, I mean, I'll probably be there. I don't know that I'll be participating because it's not my game. I'm not a downhiller, and I'm pretty bad at it, honestly. But who knows? Maybe I'll give a shot or two. We'll see. So Jason, Jason Engelke just popped in and says, so what's the super secret race we're adding to the schedule this year? So I guess I don't mean for it to be a secret at this point, to tell you the truth. In fact, it should be posted up to our oktdd.org site, which I'll type in here just so everybody has and share, please. So just post, be sure, and I just posted a link, so be sure and share that link to everybody. That's our website. I do the schedule there, and I do a few basic things there. There's some informational pieces of information there. I need to update some of the links on the event page so that it links to the actual online registration. I'll get that modified today or tomorrow. I'm at home, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But the super secret race is not super secret. It's going to be Lake Murray. So my good buddy Trip and Jetty Harrison live near Lake Murray, Nardmore, and they threw that out there, and I you know, we talked about it, and we just decided to make a go of it. So we're doing it. They're in the. I'm working with Jetty right now to get the permit started and going, and so that's going to be the race. I don't know how long you've been racing. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you were here. I think you might have raced when you were really new, Jason. You might have raced there. We haven't done that race in 5 years or so, 5, 6. I lose track of time, honestly. It's so hard for me to determine how long ago, but I'm pretty sure it was like 5, 6 years ago was the last time we did a race there. And we're looking at a new course. Jetty and Trip know that course like the back of their hand, and so we are looking at trying to create because they have, the thing is that Lake Murray, and I would love to just get a big group of people to go up there and ride this thing. The thing is that what happened was we would go to Lake Murray and race, but so many people wouldn't go up there and just ride for the weekend. So they would only go up there and do the race course. Well, the race course would be like an 7, 8, 9 mile course. And that's all they knew that was there. Well, it's because they didn't really check it out, and obviously back then in the day, we didn't have social media and all that. So it's really cool that we have social media to talk about all this, because they have 25 plus miles of trail, maybe 30 at this point. So you could go up there and ride all day just to experience the whole trail. So there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of trail up there. So it's really, I mean, it's cool. And I think I hope that we can drive this, drive some more people to go there. It's definitely a destination place to go take the weekend, because you can go up there, the kids can hang out in the summers, and you can fish and boat and cabin and be on the water and bike and road ride. And you can pretty much do it all there, and take the family there. So it's a really cool destination, and I'm looking forward to it. So I think I'm really hoping that between Jetty and Tripp and myself, we can create a really cool course that's different than what a lot of the old school riders like myself are used to, and a hard course. So we're looking at a hard course. So I'm stoked about what's coming up. So there you go. So thanks for the inquiry, and we'll make sure we start getting that information out. Oh, you're not a novice anymore, Jason. You're just a youngin' in the grand scheme of things. That's just my way of saying that I'm old. Alrighty. Next in line, March 7th, our crew, St. Crispin's, rocking and rolling. They just knocked out the Gravel Growler here a few weeks ago. Incredibly unfavorable conditions, leading into the current unfavorable conditions. Hopefully we'll be clear of this stuff, and we'll be cruising along fine by March the 7th, at which time we'll be doing Tour de Dirt race number 1 at St. Crispin's. Mike and Joanne Roberts are awesome promoters, and also run the camp there at St. Crispin's. And a long-time Tour de Dirt and cycling, running, and friends and colleagues, and all of the things. So you guys are awesome, great venue, and I'm super stoked about it. Looks like we're going to have a unique and different course once again this year. Mike always throws a little wrench into things, and it sounds like this year he's throwing a really big wrench. He's running a lot of things backwards, and going to have a completely different course and the way things work. And so I'm stoked, looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm ready to do it. So I don't know if I'm physically going to be ready, but I hope so. I hope I can at least hold my own by this point, but I'm definitely not going to be tip top, but I'll be ready to throw down, I hope, with the youngins. So that's the plan. Second on my list, like to keep this one listed, Rage Against the Chainring. Because I know I have just as many gravelers out there as I do mountain bikers, and I dabble in both as well too. Those two just go hand in hand with one another. I especially love this Rage Against the Chainring race series. It's a 4-race series this year. The dates are slightly different, but they are doing March. Their first two dates are March 6th and March 20th. I believe there's a conflict with another event there, but I mean, the first one obviously is a conflict with St. Crispin's. I guess technically you could double up. You could go to Rage Against the Chainring on the 6th, and you could do St. Crispin's on the 7th. So that would be a tough double up, but it's been done. Who knows? Someone may do it. Maybe I'll do it. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do by then? And then the 20th is an open date. I think there's some things on the 20th, but nothing that's going to conflict with Tour de Dirt. So I highly recommend this. It's a great grassroots gravel series. They're doing it slightly different this year. They have some different categories and in a longer distance. I think they have an 80-mile distance this year, whereas in the past it was pretty much a 25 and a 50-mile distance. So I think they've added a 75 or 80-mile distance as well too. In addition, they've added some age categories. I think they've added some masters categories. So haven't looked at that in detail, but you can get online and do that. I think they have registration for all 4 events or registration individually. So if you are going to do these, you do need to get online and register online. There is no day of registration for these. So you need to do it all online. If you can't find the link, which is usually pretty easy to search that, then holler at me and I'll find the link for you. So Josh Sears, Postal Bikes, all those guys Super cool event. I love it. I was able to do 3 of the 4 last year, and enjoyed it. And I'm probably only looking at the possibility of making 2 events this year, just because timing. So we'll see what happens. So maybe I'll sneak in one more if I can just get that 3rd one in. It's hard to get 4 in for me though with all the race schedules. So. And then we have Ouachita. Not a lot of talk about Ouachita, but I think there's still quite a pretty solid group of our Oklahomies headed over to Arkansas to do the Ouachita Challenge. Again, it's different this year. It is going to be March the 21st. So 2021. Well, I guess it coincides with the Rage Against Chainring as well. But again, I think there's a lot that probably won't be doing Ouachita. So if you're not doing Ouachita, then that's pretty much the only conflict. So they're doing a gravel race on Saturday, and they're doing the mountain bike race on Sunday. And that's a lot different. In the past, they've done mountain bike, with mountain bike Saturday being the ride and the Sunday being the race. And so this year they're doing only the mountain bike race on Sunday, and they're doing the gravel race on Saturday. So 2 different disciplines. I don't know. Might be interesting to see if you could double up. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I'm not registering for that. I've just made a personal decision to not do that this year. I will get back into it next year, most likely. A lot of things going on with me. I just don't think I'm ready for that big of an event quite yet in March. So going to wait and play my cards to the cross country scene, where I can control my my fitness a little bit better, versus the endurance where you can't really control it all that well. And your body takes much more of a beating in the endurance. So. And that leads us to race number 2, Tour de Dirt, team warm-up, Sooner Stampede, March 28th, Lake Thunderbird. Looks like they are already working on the courses. They typically have a different Cat 3 course versus the Cat 1-2 course. Don't have specifics on that, but all those specifics will come out. They always do. Courses are always marked and marked well, and they do a great job of all that. Good news is that I mentioned this last week, is that we have already received confirmation for the permit for the race, and that was an issue last year. At the end of last year, the reason that we postponed and then eventually canceled T-Bird was just because of COVID and getting the permit with all the regulations in place. But we were able to get the permit this year. There will be some COVID regulations in place, as there will be at all the races, and that will be determined upon based on the venue and the promoters. So we'll just follow suit with what we need to do for each venue and race away. But I'm looking forward to getting our first 2 races: March 7th, St. Crispin's; March 28th, Sooner Stampede; Lake Thunderbird finishing up March, and then we move on into April. So that is all I have for the day, folks. And let me look through my notes, and if you guys have any last minute questions, then you better toss them out. I'll do my best to answer, but let me briefly take a check, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did miss one thing. Yeah, I did miss one thing. So again, if you guys have any comments or things you want me to talk about, be sure and toss that in. This will be the thing that I did miss: a Race for the Gold, 2nd annual, Kelly Farms. Really cool event. Another neat idea, and they're doing a multi-race event where you're doing a time trial on a short track. You're doing the Race for the Gold, which I'll talk about more in detail in a second. And then they're doing, they call it the long jump, which is basically you're going to jump your bike and see who can go the furthest. And they do a cumulative points on how to do that. And taking over an overall race for the gold winner. The actual race for the gold race is pretty cool. Has a little different trick to it, and that is that it's a time trial, but I think you have to do a couple of loops. It's a couple of loops of a certain course, but again, it's done in time trial style. However, the trick is it's the best time wins. Well, that's not unusual, but the caveat is that there are gold coins throughout. And if you want to donate and be part of the gold coin, you can definitely donate and make your name, put your name on a gold coin. They're going to be about yay big, and they're going to have your name on an advertisement. And there's also a time, a second, and there's a few seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I don't know what all they're going to, but it's going to be marked on the coin. And so the strategy for this race then is unique, and that is that do you just like go for it, forget the coins? Do you just kill it, nail it, and beat everybody as badly as you can, and then hope your time holds? Or do you race really hard, but then stop every now and then and grab as many coins as you can and shove them in your pocket? Because when you get back, you get to pull out your coins and you get to add all that time up. So if it's got 5 seconds and 5 seconds and 10 seconds and 5 seconds and 15 seconds, you add all that up and you get to subtract that from your time. So do you just play with your legs, or do you strategize and you grab some coins along the way? So anyway, I think grabbing coins along the way is probably the better plan. At least it played out that way last year. Our good friend Jeremy Black took the inaugural overall win for the race for the gold, and as well as the series, because he did the long jump as well as the TT. So cool event. March 14th is when that is. I remember that date because that is the day before my birthday. So might be a fun little event to go do day before my birthday. So anyway, sounds like fun. All righty. I do not see any other comments out there. So I'm going to knock off the last of this Mad Dog 2020. Unless anything pops up between that and now, I'm going to roll on out. We're going to call it 47 minutes. All right. I do believe that's it. Guys and gals, be safe. Don't know what the weather is going to hold tonight. I think ours may be done. But look forward to seeing you on the other side of this thing by, I don't know, I guess we have a couple more days. So hopefully we'll be out of this in a couple more days. So love you guys. See ya.